Voila! So welcome. Today we are talking about change. So this is like a follow-up of several consultations and discussions I've been having. I'm gonna make a small parenthesis here to say that, you know, even though I love the different discussions in private messages on Instagram and Facebook, I'm no longer going to be able to do that because it's just, you know, there's more and more of you, and I just don't have the time anymore because my coaching group will be starting off, and I really want to dedicate most of my time towards the women who invested in our relationship, in working together, and I think that's my focus, my priority, because I really want to make 2018 a very special and amazing year for all of us. But as I said, I'm still going to be doing a few videos here and there. Here it's not going to be as frequent as before. I've already mentioned that, so that you have the heads up. So it's possible that you may not see me for an entire month sometimes. You know, I haven't disappeared for that long yet, but I'm just warning you up so that if I disappear, you don't go and start thinking I'm missing or anything like that. And so yes, are you ready for change? Are you willing to change, should I say? I'm not even going to say are you ready, so are you willing to change? Because the moment you sincerely decide to change, life will change like that. That very moment when you sincerely decide to change. So what does that mean? It means that changing for your coach, changing for your boyfriend, changing for your husband, changing for your friends, changing for your family. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about that inner decision that doesn't rely on other people, that has nothing to do with other people. Okay? Sometimes you want to lose weight just because your husband wants you to lose the extra pound that you had, that you didn't have before the wedding or whatever, or your friends thinks you should lose a little weight to look, that you will look amazing or you look better, like that, for whatever external reason, that whoever wants you to lose weight, but internally you're not feeling it. You're it's probably not one of your priorities. Therefore, even though you try, you may not reach that goal just because it's not your priorities. You're not going to be focused on that. And sometimes in order for you to reach a goal, sometimes you have to be personally invested. You have to take part in that, and you have to say that this is what I need to do. This is what I want to do. This is what I'm going to have to do, and this is what I commit to do. Okay, so the motivation, the will has to come from you, it has to come from within. Of course, there's ways of tricking yourself into getting to that if you need to, if you're struggling a little bit, but without that inner déclic, that inner je ne sais quoi, you're not going to make it, you're not going to be able to do it. And sometimes it's when that déclic comes that things start kicking off, that you start, you know, doing the few steps that you need to take those few steps and starting to see progress, and that progress is what generates even more motivation for you to continue and finish. But essentially it's like, are you willing to change? I've asked myself all the different things. I've gone through different things. You know, sometimes when I disappear like that, it's because I do have a life. I do. I'm a human being. Sometimes I get amazed when I reply to comment and subscribers are like surprised. I'm like, yeah, I try to engage as much as I can with you guys, especially those of you who have been working with me since I started making videos. You know that at the very beginning I was like on the comments. The moment I receive the comments, I respond like in 5 minutes and stuff like that. I can't do that anymore now, but I'm still engaged. I still sometimes when I have some free time, I take the time to see if there are any comments that were questions from subscribers or things that I can answer, either answer them directly to the person, or see if I can make a video out of that, because I do care. This is the whole point of this interaction. You know, YouTube is meant for that. It's like, it's different from TV for that very purpose, that you can actually interact with your audience. You actually can listen to what they have to say and integrate that and respond and give to them as much as you can give. And that requires you to change. Sometimes you may wanna focus on certain things because you can see that it will be so useful and helpful to one subscriber, even just to one. There are videos that I've made just for one person, just to hear them say that how much it helped them, how much they appreciate it is enough. So it's also a matter of being willing to do it. And being willing to do it is not just like you're glimpsy and you're just like, oh, okay, I'm gonna start doing it, and things are squeaky clean and nice and everything is just going perfect, and your life, there's no more challenges and things. No. I keep mentioning this, is like, even for people who are in a spiritual path and they're advanced and you know all of the different tools, there are bigger challenges. Every time you kind of reach a stepping stone, bigger challenges come along, because you're not gonna just stick around there. You're gonna keep growing, and the further you keep growing, the further more challenges are gonna come. So it's never gonna be an easy breathy kind of flowy things, but you may enjoy it even though there are challenges because of the tools that you do have. You may not go and start stressing out and starting to be depressed and all of that, because you have all those tools that you know of, that you can use, and because you understand now that everything is a season. You know, you're not going to be mad forever. This person is not going to be mad forever. This situation is not going to last forever, and you just need to persist and go through it, and go through it and finish it. And no matter how gloomy and how, you know, hard we think it is in the moment, and we feel like our life is gonna end, it's just like, you know, if you think about your first heartbreak, you feel like, oh, I'm gonna die, I'm never gonna love again, I'm never gonna do this, I'm never gonna do that, and then, you know, what happened? Life goes on, and you are still here. No matter what you've endured, you can say, you know, this person was so bad to me, that relationship was so nasty, or whatever, but you're still here. You're still here, and you're able to talk and tell your story, and maybe inspire somebody else, maybe save somebody from going through the same hardship that you went through, maybe just continue to share your own story and to build and to do better and to have a better experience. So there's never a waste of time. And even when you refuse to change, or you don't want to change, and you just want to enjoy the life that you currently have, maybe your life is already pretty good, and you're satisfied where you are, and you just want to enjoy that, then to go do and enjoy it. This video is really for those of you who are thinking, who don't like, if you don't like where you are, if you don't like what's happening in your life, what you think is happening to you, because sometimes it's like, oh, things are happening to me, as another way to say that I'm not responsible for what's going on. You know, poor me, life is just always so cruel, the government is doing this person keeps doing that, the whole world is against me, right? When you're doing that, you're preventing yourself from having the ability to change your own reality. You know, you building and constructing this world where everything is against you, and you don't even realize that you're the one constructing it that way. Okay? Why would the entire world be against you and not your neighbor? Why is everybody else in the same environment with you, but some people are striving in that environment, or some people manage to get out of that environment? That should be telling you that you don't have to stay where you are, that you don't have to think the way you're thinking, you don't have to perceive things the way you're perceiving it, if they're hurting you and if they're not benefiting you. That's the core thing. It's like sometimes, you know, people will say, oh, you know, religion is so bad and blah blah blah. It's like there are plenty of people who are very religious and who have an amazing, happy, loving life, an amazing, happy, loving relationship. They feel filled, they spiritually feel filled, and they don't need to go anywhere. They don't need to become, you know, some super activist. They don't need to jump into spirituality. No, they don't even need magic or anything like that, because they have everything that they want. They have everything that they need. Okay, and I think sometimes for spiritual people, it's hard for some people. I don't know why. It's hard for some people to accept that some people may be Christian, they may be Jewish, they may be Muslim, and they're having a happy life, and they don't need you to talk to them about your life, or try about your path, or try to convert them, or whatever, or try to stimulate some envy for your path. And I don't understand why sometimes it's so hard for spiritual people to understand that sometimes some religious people don't have nothing to envy you. They're having their own path, and they're very satisfied with it. And sometimes, you know, the greater thing in magic sometimes is just like they are it's the ability to do the thing without the magic itself. It's the ability for you to be the magic without having to do anything else. But that's the whole topic of a different video. This video is really to encourage you. If you want to change, it's time to do it. Stop hesitating, stop making excuses, stop fussing and twisting. You know, it's either you're willing and ready and willing to do it all, to jump in and to be willing to leave behind your own belief, your old perceptions, you know, thinking about everyone is out there to get you. Where is that kind of thinking going to get to lead you to? Just think about one person that succeeded, that's successful, that's exactly where they want to be, and ask them whether they were thinking that the entire world was against them. Ask them whether they had ever had anyone help them, assist them along the way. And that's the way you need to start thinking, because most people always had somebody gave them a chance. Somebody saw in them the potential and believed in them and helped them. So it wasn't the whole world was against them. It wasn't like some conspiracy and feeling like, you know, you're not getting anywhere. Not because you're making poor choices, not because you're making bad decisions, not because there are things that you simply don't know and that you need to seek and find out, but simply because, you know, somewhere somebody in a room has your name on a file and is trying to put you down. Okay? And that everyone else in your reality is part of that big conspiracy that you can't do nothing about. Sometimes you just have to let go all of that and let go of that belief and just take the chance that you could change your own circumstances by what you do, by how you think, and not instantly like that. It's gonna take some work. It's gonna take you being used to not think the way you've been thinking maybe the past 20, 30, 40, or sometimes 50 years to get rid of that. It's gonna take time. It's not gonna be necessarily just like that. Even when you do hypnosis, sometimes you can have flashback of things that, you know, you used to before, because it doesn't really go away. Hypnosis, that's a matter of another video. But it's just to say, you have that ability to decide that you want to be a different person. You know, if you're waking up every day angry, you need to start searching where is anger coming from. And you need to tell yourself that you have the ability to wake up and smile. Even if it's to force yourself to smile every single day. I mean, I don't know who can't smile once a day. I mean, you need to smile. If you're not smiling once a day, make it a prescription. Smiling once a day. For women, smiling and crying once a day or every other day. And you're gonna start thinking that with an orgasm, you're gonna start feeling like your whole perception of life is gonna change. Okay? But it's really important that you start viewing things and taking the responsibility that is yours, the share that is yours. Relationship ended, maybe the person cheated on you. It's not all their fault, because I hear women saying this all the time. Because the man cheated, or if the woman cheated, oh, that's her fault because she's a bad person, or because it's always her. Why? It's not you, right? It has nothing to do. You were completely, fully, emotionally there. You were doing everything. Maybe you were not like smuggling them with all of that. You were not like, you know, being too much. You were not. You giving your all. You were just being perfect, right? So nothing. You cannot. You didn't do anything to contribute to that, right? And the same way, if you didn't do anything to contribute to that, then you cannot change anything. That means the next person that comes can do the exact same thing, because you have no responsibility in that. Do you see where this reasoning is going to? And that goes towards like the foundation of a relationship, because it's two people, and each person carries their share. You know, you're not gonna get anything out of it if you don't invest yourself. You can't just be in the relationship and say, hey, the relationship is supposed to work itself out and I'm just here for the ride, and you're just waiting for the person to drive or waiting to the destination. I don't know why it's the destination, the next wedding anniversary, everything is supposed. No, you have to invest yourself. You have to leave your pull up your sleeves, put in your heart, put in your energy, give to that person, receive from that person and give them back. Adjust when needs to. It's like a dance. You know, you have to move back and move forward and be able to morph and adapt and build with this person. And so it's not all on him, it's not all on her, it's also on you. And I think the moment you get that and you're just like, okay, what was my part in this breakup? What was my part in this, in what went wrong? And you assess that so that you don't repeat it. And even best, if you can go and speak to that person and make sure you don't leave any bad waters between the two of you, so that you don't have to talk badly about them and send them this negative vibe every time somebody asks you about them. I think there's nothing more I don't know, there's nothing more disappointing than to hear a woman go on and on about all the negative things that a man has done. He's done this, he's done that, he's done that. Like, come on, you're gonna tell me the entire relationship was that bad? So what was even the point of you being in the relationship to begin with? Because the moment you break up, or the moment somebody does a mistake or does something that is not, that you don't approve of, all of a sudden that instant becomes the entire person, and you just forget about whatever else this person has done. Whatever else may have been so much more important or so much more thoughtful, you just forget about it, and you reduce this individual to that one moment. And I'm sure you wouldn't want anyone to reduce you to one of your worst moments, right? Or one of your mistakes. So if you don't want that, don't do that with the people. It's okay if a relationship didn't work out and you couldn't make it work, and you've tried, or you love this person very dearly and they left you, or you left them. That's okay. You don't have to stay with them, but you don't have to pile up that negativity. Just let it go. Just let it go. It's not serving you to hold on to that. It's not going to serve you. It's not going to serve him. It's going to serve anybody. Okay. And like I said in my love video, it's so much easier to just look at the good moment, and that's what you're taking with you. And you're not even taking with you because it's staying with you. Love is with you all the time, everywhere, all the ways. Always, all the ways. It's always around you. There's always something loving that this person has done. Whether it was in his smile, in the tone of his voice, the tenderness that he had towards you, the way he held your hand, he looked at you. At some point, there's no way you can have an entire relationship and there wasn't one point where you didn't feel that love. Even if you felt it as an attraction, as a physical attraction, as the click, as chemistry between you, that love was there, that was present, and you can't deny it. Okay? Being heard and feeling heard is something else. Okay, but don't reduce that person to that one moment. And I know this is not like some popular trend. You know, I know a lot of people, and I probably do this in a separate video. A lot of people talking about, you know, you need to be manipulative, you need to go and get them, you need to revenge yourself, and all the different things. Listen, to me, negativity has never brought any positivity. Okay, negativity is not what brings positivity. It's when you stop being negative that the positive can actually come in. Okay, because the two repel. You can't have negativity and positivity in the same, occupying the same space. It's just like having negativity and negativity. It's just like having the same electrical charge. It's not going to work out. You need something different. Somebody is negative to you, you have better chance to become an alchemist and transmute that negativity. Okay, until it's no more. So and you do that. Alchemy, if I could talk about alchemy enough, and I know a lot of you are interested into alchemy, and alchemy requires you to change, to be willing to change, and not to change in kind of like flimsy kind of way where you just like, hey, today I'm like this and tomorrow I'm that. Like, not the kind of change where like, oh, today I'm more into herbs and tomorrow I'm into potion. No, not that kind of change. It requires you to assess your belief. It challenges you all the time to assert where your beliefs are and whether those beliefs are limiting you or helping you expand, helping you build, helping you transform in a way that's going to serve you. And you can't understand being an alchemist if you're not somebody who likes to change, who's not somebody who likes to test your own boundaries. Because the foundation of alchemy is just that. Take something that many people think is one thing and being able to change that into something else. it requires you to have a capacity to foresee, to see in it something else. For example, seeing somebody that everyone is probably picking or discarding or bad-mouthing about, and being able to see the goodness in them, to be able to see where they lay their ability that they need to focus on in order to bloom, in order to be somebody different, in order to even help them believe that they can be somebody different. It takes a special kind of person. It takes a willingness to get there. And that's all it takes. It doesn't take some special skills. It doesn't take you to, some special skills in the sense that you don't need to jump hoops and things like that. You just need to work on that ability of using your perception. And you cannot have that expansion of your perception if you're rigid in your own reality. If you refuse or don't accept your role as a co-creator in your own life, in your own choices. You don't like that job, but you pick that job. You don't like that job, but you don't want to go back to school. You don't want to start up your own business. You don't want to maybe seek a partnership that will enable you to stay at home if you want to stay at home. You don't want to do anything. And who's supposed to do it for you? Nobody's going to do it for you. Not the government that you're talking about in a conspiracy. Not the person who are trying to get you. So it's time to take part of responsibility in your own action. In your own life. You can't get out of your own life. You can get out of your own story now, right? But what you can do is rewrite that story. What you can do is tell another story. And that's where your power lies. Your power is within your ability to accept your part of responsibility and be able to use that power to change your reality, to change the things that you want to change, and apply yourself in doing that. So are you willing to change? Look around in nature. If you live in North America or in Europe, in the Northern Hemisphere, change is so blatant in your face. And I think maybe it's because here, most people in the Northern Hemisphere live somewhat disconnected from nature. Especially if you were living in New York, or they only have like a skyscraper all over the place. You barely go to a park. You've never been in a forest, or you don't have access to forest where you can completely be immersed in nature. You don't have to raise your eyes and see skyscrapers all over beyond the trees. But when you live in the most people who live in the southern hemisphere are much more closer to nature, much more connected. But this might be also why it is so blatant in North America or in Europe. The seasons, the changes of the seasons. You're gonna see, each of the seasons, radical changes in nature. The animals behave a different kind of way. The plants, everything changes. The weather, it's to say it's in a different clock. They're adapting, they're changing constantly. They have to. Okay, nobody's telling the bird it's time to build your nest. It's time to put some food away, or telling the bear it's time to go hibernate. They know that intrinsically, innately, and they are willing to change and to adapt for each season that comes along because they don't have a choice. That's what they say usually, that nature is, if you can't adapt, you're not going to survive. All of the species that evolve and continue to evolve and strive are species that adapt. They're able to adapt to their environment. And so that's what's required of you. That's what's meant when we talk about change and transformation. It's changing within, it's changing yourself, it's adapting to what's going on, and going where you want to go, towards what you want to go, and putting in what needs to be put in, what needs to be put forth. Okay, the birds know that they need to get those branches, leaves, and things that are going to make the nest warm during the winter, during the cold winter. Okay, they're not complaining about having to do that. Okay, they're not complaining or waiting for someone else to build a nest for them. One of them may be lucky and find an abandoned nest, but most of them will go out and get what they need to get. And so you shouldn't be complaining about that. If you want a loving relationship, if you want that dream job you're thinking about, then you need to get out there and get it. You need to get out there and put your foot forward and do your best. And that's the other thing. Sometimes I speak with subscribers and they look at YouTube and then thinking, you know, one person told me one time, oh, you know, what you think what you're doing seems easy. I want to do the same thing. And I say, okay, so what are you willing to share? What is your experience? What kind of experience have you had? What are you willing to teach others that you've learned and that you can share with them, that you can teach, and that will be valuable, will be an additional contribution? Not just a repetition was already on there, was already out there, but something that really comes from you that you can teach other people. And she started thinking. And she's still thinking, and we were in the process of looking at things that she can do and use if she decides to start a YouTube channel. But this is to say that when you're looking at YouTube, you're looking at creators, you may look at somebody and that person is making it look so easy. I have a wonderful teacher, and I will introduce you to her and make video about her, because like I said, you know, when you're ready, the new teacher shows up. But she's just an amazing, I call her my spiritual mother, because of the path that I'm on and the support that she provides and just the energy that she has. She makes it look so easy. And I remember when I first started on the path of love over everything, I didn't really know where to look to and what to look to, and I didn't know what to expect either. You know, it's one of those paths, and every time I mention to somebody, the person is like, oh yeah, me too. And when they say, oh yeah, me too, I really understand that they don't understand what they're talking about, because I was there. I've said, like, the first time I heard that, I was like, oh yes, oh me too. Sounds so easy, right? To always choose love, to always choose love. Okay, it sounds so easy, but it requires you to shed a lot of beliefs. It requires you to shed whatever is limiting, and that is a process in itself. And when I really began the first few steps in this journey, I asked to be shown, to be led away, and soon enough my teacher showed up, and she really makes it look so easy. And I was mesmerized at the beginning because I couldn't understand how it was so easy. But as you start shedding layers of things that you don't need, things that you hold on to, things that build your personality, you really see that things get easier, because you get lighter. I think that's that. I think you get lighter. You shed away the stuff, the gunk that was holding you back, and the things that wasn't serving you or that's not serving you on this particular path. You shed it away so you can be as light and be able to do all of that without being depleted, and really feeling fulfilled, feeling energized, and loving every bit of it. So I will introduce you to her, and especially since you are the English-speaking audience here, because her material is available online, and for those of you who are also looking into having teachers, you know, I'm the type of person like, if you can get access to her, I will provide access as well. So, but that will be for another video. No worries, it's gonna come soon. Your willingness to change and adapt is really the core foundation of your path of personal transformation. You can't do transformation without being willing to change. It's impossible. And so when I was talking about creating and being a creator on YouTube, it's just like it requires also for you to change. It requires for you, you know, to understand that some subscribers or some people who come across your channel may not completely get you, and that's okay. Some of them may be blatantly rude, and they can be the way they are, and you just need to continue to understand what the choices you have, the choices in terms of dealing with their responses, dealing with how you want to deal with your channel, how do you want to interact with your subscribers. All of that are choices that reflect your willingness or capability of adaptation no matter what environment you fall into. You know, waking up and smiling is a choice. You can, you know, when people say, oh, you know, I wake up in a bad mood, yes, you may have woken up in a bad mood, and then what did you do after that? You can decide to be in a good mood, right? So it's all a matter of observing yourself and deciding what you would prefer and going for that. You may feel really angry and feel that anger, let that anger go through you, and after that decide that no, you don't want to be angry anymore. You don't want to hold on that anger towards this other person. You better let it go. You better move on and forgive. Not necessarily forget, you know how I do about that, but you may want to move on and forgive and let that go. And sometimes when you do that, you end up forgetting anyways, because you're moving on to something else. But that willingness to change is something that I've seen people fight against. You know, they will say, you know, I'm willing to change, but the moment you bring something that goes against their old ways, they will fight to keep that old them alive, and so it won't enable them to move forward. And so changing and transforming yourself is a choice. It's not something that you're constrained to do. Nobody can force you to change. Nobody. Unfortunately, sometimes some of us have to really hit rock bottom before we decide to change. It's kind of like you have to hit the bottom of the bottom. You have to go all the way down and hit down your lowest low for you to feel like this is enough. I don't want this life anymore. I don't want this perspective. I don't want to feel this way anymore, and I'm willing to do something about it. And the thing is that you don't have to go and hit the bottom. You don't have to. You can decide at your, you know, the first deception, you can decide already right then, right there, that you want to change, that you want a different direction, that you want to go somewhere else. And I think that's part of what I aim to work on with part of my group, especially those women who are focused on personal development in terms of where you want to go, what tools that may work for you in order to help you change your perspective and be in a better place. So change is just a matter of choice. I know it's not going to be popular, it's not going to be, you know, I'm not going to give you a spell for that, you know. I heard somebody one time said, you know, oh, whatever, no matter what you're going through, I have a spell for that. And I'm like, yeah, it's going to cost you more than the spell. I think sometimes there's a big misunderstanding behind magic and what magic truly is, and what power and essence magic has, and that will probably be another discussion that we may have, because the true magic and the true power is not to need magic at all. And I know not many people will understand this, but we'll probably dive into that at another point, another time. The real magic, you become the magic, so you won't need any of that. You won't need any vials, any tools, any interference. You just need your own energy, your own mind, your own heart to do that magic. I mean, and that point, when you reach that point, when you get to that point, then the potions, the elixir, all the different things start being things that you use just because you want to, because you like to, not because you have to. So change. If you're willing and ready to change, and you're ready to commit, like I said, working with me, you have to commit for an entire year. I don't believe in quick fixes. I don't believe in doing one session here, one session there. This is from experience, I've seen that very few people are able to just, you know, give me the roadmap, give me the keys, give me the thing, and I'll go on my own. Most people will get lost, come back, or I forgot the keys, come back, or I forget this, or can you re-explain to me that? And so to me, the only way for you to see a deep and profound transformation in yourself is that you commit to it. And I think a full year is a commitment that is long enough for you to see the changes and the improvement and all of that in concrete ones, and not too long so that you feel that it's dragging, or so that you feel that you will have the opportunity to recommit at the end of the year and stay, because through this entire process I'm seeing so much expansion. There are classes that I'm going to be doing exclusively for my coaching group. One of the classes is going to be on yoni eggs from my own perspectives, workshops, and specific things just for my group, because I think when I have women who are committed for that long, it's really the best way for me. For those who want to start a practice, you're going to be able to learn exactly what I mean by a yoni egg practice, some of my favorite yoni eggs, such as a petrified wood. You'll be able to order yoni eggs with me. It's going to be exclusively done through my coaching group. I'm not selling yoni eggs anymore to the large audience like I used to do before. I'm really focusing to invest everything I have to offer, and most of it with the women who are committed to working with me. And I think that's going to be a wonderful adventure. Out of the coaching, maybe some of the different classes that's going to be done in the coaching may be available subsequently to on Gumroad. I will see if some of the classes could be taken as a self-study. I don't guarantee that anything will come like that, but it may be a possibility if I can tweak a few things, so that those of you that I know who are kind of go-getters and be able to do on your own, you've purchased a few programs already from me, and you seem to be doing very well with those. So for those of you, I may just put out some additional self-study so you can continue to expand. And if you are hesitating right now, if you're thinking that you don't really like your life and you want to change it, there are things that you need help and assistance with, have the courage to seek that assistance, whether it is with me or somebody else. To me, courage is also the ability to enable yourself to do something. Sometimes it's not just wanting to do it, or sometimes it's just putting yourself in a position where you can do it. My coaching group is a commitment of 1 year. It's $40 US a month, and so it's a commitment that should be 2 movie tickets a month. For those of you who go to the movie, his movies are $20, about $20 a piece, so it's kind of like that kind of commitment. And I have young women also who are on there. So I think if a college student can afford to be on my coaching group, you definitely can find a way to afford it as well, or just tell yourself that this is a treat you're doing. And I think if you don't see it as a priority, maybe that's not the right time for you. So don't feel like this is not a coaching group that's for everybody. It's not for everybody. Let me make that clear. This is not for everybody. This is really for people who kind of are familiar with my work, with my videos, who understand the way I function. So I'm not here to convince you of something like that. It's like you have to be willing to learn from me, and for me to be able to learn it and teach you what I know. Okay, this is not something that's done to debate or anything like that. I don't indulge in debate. I let you believe whatever you want to believe, and we'll go from there. You know, you don't have to be on my path either. Matter of fact, you can be on my path. Each of us has a specific path. Okay, and so if you've looked at my work and you would like to work with me, all the information will be down in the description box. And other than that, leave me comments if you have anything else to say, to ask. If you want to suggest topics for future videos, I look at it when I have time, and when I do have the time to make videos, I'll consider using the subject that you may have. So hopefully this video encouraged you to be a little bit more open-minded about what you want in life, how you perceive yourself, and the capabilities and the possibilities that life can offer to you, if only you were willing to be open to. Thank you for having me with me, and I'll see you in the next video.